What's going on, reefers? Blaine here, back at it again with another Red Sea Reefer build video. I'm really excited about this one. It's been taking some time. We previously had the studio in another building. Little did you guys know, we actually moved buildings, reset up the studio, and after all of that, it's time to roll. We've got the innovative Marine 15-gallon rolling, and it's finally time to get the big tank up and going. We have all the Red Sea equipment out here. I've got a couple more boxes out and about, but what we're gonna do today is we're gonna get all of this unboxed. Greg's gonna head over, help us out with setting up this tank. Hopefully we'll get some water in and we'll get this tank rolling. Let's get the cycling process started and let's dig into the equipment. Previously in this series, we saw all of the equipment that we were planning on putting onto the reefer. Now let's finally unbox all of this equipment and get this tank loaded out. We've worked our way through the majority of the boxes of equipment that we had left to get opened. We're stopping right now on the Reef LED 90s. I wanted to talk real quick about this lighting system we're gonna be using on the new Red Sea build. I haven't had the chance to try these out personally, but I've seen them up and running in the retail store. I really like the way they look. I've heard they're easy to use, so excited to try them out, get you guys a better review once I've tried them up and running for a couple weeks or a couple months, and then I can come back, give an in-depth review, and let you know what I think of the Reef LED 90s by Red Sea. All right, all the boxes are open. We've got the equipment out and ready to go. Now let's get Greg in here. We'll start working on getting all the equipment into the tank, and we're gonna check out how this Red Sea starts to evolve. I'm really excited about getting all these things online and finally getting this tank running in the studio. Let's get into it. All right, we're here with Greg, the dry goods manager. Thanks, Greg, for hopping on again.
Thanks for having me, Blaine.
Absolutely. So we have gotten all of the things out of their boxes. It's time to get equipment online and start setting up this Red Sea Reefer. So let's go ahead and dive in and start getting some of this equipment on.
Okay, so we're gonna build the Red Sea Universal Mounting Arm Kit. The really cool thing about this is they're universal now. So this one arm kit can do any size reefer tank for the Reef LED 90, and that's what we're gonna be using here today. Same thing goes for the Reefer 160S LED kits, and they're pretty easy to set up. Super straightforward, and they're very clean looking. Now, the one thing we're gonna do here that's maybe a little not called for is we're using a drill. And Red Sea does not say to use a drill, but
after getting the brackets tightened down, our Reef LEDs are right where we need them. Next on our agenda is getting the gyre mounted and in place. All right, we've gotten our Reef Wave gyre onto the tank. We're gonna be setting up the controller as well. One thing I wanted to mention, if your tank can't reach or your gyre can't reach its cord, it comes with an extension so that way you can reach all the way down to the Reef Wave controller. So really nice little addition that Red Sea added into this one. Red Sea has done a nice job and added in a user manual for every single piece of their equipment. So that way, if you have any questions or any concerns during the setup process or whenever it's running, you can refer to your manual. And I have to say, it's definitely a nice addition to have and refer back to whenever you need to. On the Red Sea pump, they come with these nice little feet to add to the return pump to make things nice and quiet down below. So make sure you get those added in as you're getting your return pump all set up. One of the most important things to not forget is adding in this O-ring. If you don't add in your O-ring, you're gonna definitely have issues and there's gonna be some leaking that will arise. Now we have our return pump out. Let's get it prepped to put down below with the proper barb fitting. Now that we're down below, it was time to start getting everything into place. The first thing was to get the roller mat all hooked up, and that meant cutting the intake hose to size and getting the plumbing swapped out and reattached. With the roller mat in, I went to then get our skimmer into place. In hindsight, I should have put the skimmer in first and then got the roller mat in to make things a bit easier on myself. I will say though, this sump is really starting to fill out and there will be a ton of mechanical filtration down below to help keep this system nice and clean. After both of these were put in, we got the return pump set down below All that was left to do plumbing wise below was getting the main return hose to get water flowing up to the main display. All right, we've got the roller mat, we've got the skimmer, and now we have the return pump down in the sump below. I have to say we're starting to fill out this sump pretty quickly, but all of the uniform products coming from Red Sea makes things nice and easy and tidy down below. Really liking how everything's looking, loving the red accents, and I'm excited to finally have a roller mat running myself. I've heard amazing things about these products, but I haven't been able to run one myself, so really looking forward to trying it out, and maybe I'll end up tossing one on at my tank at home. We've got the equipment up top on the tank. We've started to put some down below in the sump, but to get everything nice and tidy with our wire management, we're gonna pop off both the doors to have some nice and easy access down into the sump area. With the studio tank, I made sure Greg got right on board with getting all the wiring done nice and neatly. We like to utilize this wire management track that we are now offering on our website. So if you're looking to clean up your wires down below or anywhere around your tanks, this is the perfect time to grab these up and start managing those systems. For all the cords for this system, we're going to be setting up an ADJ power strip. I have fallen in love with these as of late simply due to the fact they come with these nice red switches giving you an easy access to simply turning on and off any of your equipment. Most equipment nowadays comes with a manual controller, and with a lot of mechanical filtration on this tank, we're going to have quite the amount of manual controllers to get mounted and hung up in our system. We're trying to make sure we get all of the controller interfaces out of the way and set up in an organized manner. With a little teamwork, Greg and myself got the cords ran to the lights and the system was about ready to get water. Last minute wire tabs were added in to make sure all the cords were accounted for and things were looking nice and tidy. Quite the professional work by Greg once again, and something I always love to see come out of the team during any install from Top Shelf Aquatics. All right, today is the day. We are finally filling up the tank with water, but first, before we do that, we wanna add in our Carib Sea sand. We're gonna be adding in two different styles of the Carib Sea sand. We have the Fiji pink and the reef sand. The reason why I wanna mix them together is that way we get different sizes of sand granules, so that way it looks a little bit more natural. I'm really excited though to finally have this tank up and running. Let's get right to it. Let's add in the sand, mix up the two different mixtures, and then let's get some water in. The first task, as I mentioned, was getting sand into this system. We debated back and forth on whether or not we wanted to add sand into this tank, but in the end we decided sand was the best way to go and it was going to bring some nice aesthetic to the studio. Once the two bags were in, I shifted things around and got to hand mixing the two grades of sand to make a nice layer down on the bottom. Clarifying packets were next to be added in to help speed up the process of clearing this system up. All right, we've got the sand into the tank. We ended up utilizing two bags, so 40 pounds in total of the reef sand and also the Fiji pink. It's gonna be a nice little mixture down below on the sand level, but now we're gonna be filling up this tank, and currently right now, Gene and Dyko are filling up the truck with some water from one of our current systems in the farm. I'm really excited to add in farm water into this system because we'll be adding in beneficial bacteria right off the rip. Let's cut the chit chat and let's get right to filling this system. With the maintenance team hanging around early for me, we brought the hose in and it was time to get water into this tank. Just like our installs, we utilized one of the open bags of sand to help mitigate the disturbance of the sand layer. Next on my list of things to do was getting all the equipment online and into the ReefBeat app. Connecting the devices was seamless and made the setup nice and easy. I really do love how this app looks and how it functions. Glass wiped clean, and it was time to wait for this tank to clear up a bit. The tank is up and rolling, things are starting to clear up and it's looking really great. I have to give a huge shout out to Kevin. The scape looks amazing. Down below, everything's nice and clean. We've got the roller mat running, starting to clear up the system as well. We wanted to add in a heater too, so we're gonna be using the Seache contactless 300 watt heater. I'm excited to put it onto the tank, try it out. I just recently threw one onto the Innovative Marine 15 gallon. I really like the way it's working for me, so we're gonna be putting on the 300 watt for the Red Sea Reefer 250. So excited about that. Loving how the tank's looking. Let's go ahead and check out some sweet shots. Just to wrap everything up, we've finally got all the equipment online. We've got the sand in, the scape is in, and we've got water running through the system. I want to give a big shout out to every single person involved with this build. We've got Greg, who helped me out with the entire building process, getting things wired out. We've got Kevin, who built this amazing scape. We've got Gene and Dyko, who helped come in and get this thing rolling with the water. I just want to give a big shout out to everyone involved for Red Sea sending this tank out. I just want to say though, if you guys have been hanging out all the way till the end, thank you so much for watching this video, and be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future uploads.